This might be one of the most unique horror events I've ever been to. It's called Dark Masquerade, and it takes over the Queen Mary in a way I wasn't expecting at all. This isn't just a haunted attraction, it feels more like stepping into a horror party, where something feels a little off. In today's video, we're going to be going over how was the Queen Mary's Dark Masquerade's party? Was it worth it? How was the experience? Come with us for this adventure. Welcome to the Villains of Horror YouTube channel, where haunted attractions and horror experiences collide. I'm your host, Jeffrey, or aka Omega Greed. Let's jump into this video. So this time that we went to the Dark Masquerade, this was actually our second time going. They opened it up the weekend of Valentine's Day, the month prior. That was our first time going to this event. We didn't really film during that event. I wanted to just go and experience it. We did film a little bit just for shorts and reels, but not a full-blown video. This time, a month later, we went with a family friend and we wanted to film the experience and kind of tell you guys what it was like, was it worth it, and how the whole experience really was. So the good thing is this time we knew what to expect, but the very first time we did it, we had no idea. Only thing that we knew is that there was going to be some mask wearing, possibly a party. There was, or maybe not, actual haunted attractions there, and it was going to be kind of a different type of vibe, more of a formal party, if that makes sense. Now I will say both times we did get the VIP because we wanted to make sure we could do everything and we had plenty of time to do it. The first time that we did it, when it was open for Valentine's Day weekend, it was for sure worth it because there was a lot of people going that first weekend. This time I will say the crowds were lower, and it did seem like, at least on our run through, a lot of people had VIP because the VIP line for certain things were actually really long. But let me not get ahead of myself. Let me first explain what this event was. If you've never been to this isn't like a Horror Nights or even more like the Queen Mary's normal Halloween attractions. It's more of a mix between a haunted attraction, a themed party, and an immersive experience all happening at the same time. The things that make this event stand out is you're not just walking through mazes, you're inside a themed environment the entire time. And the vast majority of the event is held directly on the ship. So when you first make your way through security after you park and you are coming into the actual ship, you are stopped and you do get a kind of scene setup by the ringmaster. The ringmaster kind of sets the mood for what's going to be happening. Before you even get on the ship, you get stopped and they tell you kind of what's going to be happening. The ringmaster basically tells you that there's going to be fun, there's going to be drinking if you want to drink, and there's going to be a couple of different things that happen. So that's like kind of the setup that you have. Before you really know what else is going to be happening, you are whisked away onto the ship and you make your first grand entrance onto the ship. Now, the cool thing about this event is you get access to areas that you normally don't get access to during the normal Dark Harbor like event. Even if I'm not even sure if you can do this section, if you do like a tour of the Queen Mary, if you have access to this area. When you first go on the ship, normally, because this is like the part where during the normal season, the haunted attraction kind of starts here, but in this section you are kind of walking on first and foremost, and they lead you to some stairs. And this is the one thing, you can wear more formal wear for this because this is kind of like a immersive party. They do put on the website to wear comfortable shoes that you can walk up and down stairs with, because you are going to be walking up and down some stairs for this section. I do know that they do have a wheelchair accessible area, or you can still go down to this level. There is an elevator, so that is mentioned on the website as well, just to note. So you make your way down I don't even know actually how many flights of stairs. You have to go down quite a bit of stairs, but you make it all the way to the bottom of the ship. Once you make it to the bottom of the ship, you are introduced to another character that is talking to you and kind of giving you a little bit more of a setup to let you know what you're about to see. Now, this is one of the cooler things about this event. Once you make it past this section, you do walk through, there's kind of like a boardwalk on the bottom of the ship, which first and foremost, being at the very bottom of the ship is actually really cool. This is an area, like I said, you don't normally get a chance to see. Once you make it past this boardwalk, you are introduced into this big grand room where you get to see Graceful Gale sing a song. It's kind of like a recorded song that's on loop, but she's performing it and you get to kind of watch her from the boardwalk. You can stop. There is like a bar before you get to this section, so there's also tables set up where you can just sit and kind of just hang out if you want for a while, but you get to see her perform this song. It's on loop but it has all the lighting and everything like that. Has some projections up on the wall, so it's like a really cool scene to see. You can get a lot of shots of her, like with your camera, if you want to just take some videos and things like that. So it's a really cool scene to see. So while we were there, we hung out for a while, but this time we brought masks with us, because the first time that we went, when you make it to the dance room, which I'll explain that in a second, they actually hand out masks that you could put on. Those masks, I mean, they're like cheap, but they weren't really like fitting all that well. And we did see other people that were there the first time. They brought masks with them and they were fully dressed up. So this time we just said, we're gonna buy some masks just straight off Amazon and bring them with us. So that's what we elected to do this time. So we actually put our mask on while we were down there. And then we made our way through the boardwalk. There's like another section where you can take a photo. It's like a little photo op. And then you get to take one of the big elevators back up to the main floor, so to say. But the cool thing about that is once you make it up to the main floor, especially like this time, because it wasn't that busy, we could have actually gone back around and gone back down the stairs if you wanted to. Or if you go to the left, you can go through, which is pretty cool. It's part of actually the infirmary maze. You get to walk through it and go to, I guess, the ballroom section. But if you want to like actually take your time and just take some photos, all the props are still there. They're not all up and moving. Normally during the season, all these props are up and they're kind of like moving around, but during this time, they're just there. So if you want, you can take some photos with them. Other people were definitely doing that. So once we did that, we were able to make our way back into the big ballroom, and it's a party. That's for sure. It's definitely a lot of dancing, a lot of music. There's a DJ going on. The first time we were there, we actually spent, I want to say, like over an hour just dancing and just having a good time. This time, we didn't really do that much. We were in there for a minute, but then we elected to go right to the back room because this time we wanted to go and make sure we got a chance to get some merch because it was sold out the first time. So this big grand room, you can hang out in there. There's a section off to the right hand side where you can go outside. There's some more tables and things like that if you want to go outside, or you can hang out in there. There is part of another attraction you can go that's right in there that's kind of off behind the stage. Or if you keep going straight, there's like a photo op section, or if you can just make your way through, you'll make it to the other part of the ship. So what we elected to do was make our way all the way through the ship and go to the very back, this other big entrance section, which I will say this area was open before for one of their other events. I want to say it was for their Friday the 13th, the Lights Out event, where you can go through the maze and they just gave you like a glow stick. This was the area where they let you out into, and you could, I think there was like a bar in here at one point in time, but this time they just used it for like a big queue, like waiting room to get through the one attraction. And this is what I mean when I say like there was a lot of people in VIP. I was kind of shocked that whole line was just VIP. Like there was no one in the general entrance line. So I feel like a lot of people just bought VIP, but there wasn't really much of a benefit to it because there wasn't anyone else like there. But yeah, I'll say we waited through this line. It did take us maybe like 25 minutes. The nice thing is though, for this event, they really did pulse you through because of each section they had a scare actor actually perform and give you more of some more dialogue. So this was different than like their normal maze where you just kind of walk through. Even though you're still going through the blueprint of one of their other mazes, at least this time there was more story driven where they pulsed you through. So once they finally let us in to feast, it was pretty cool. So they pulsed us through. We were in a group of, it was 3 of us plus 2 other people in front of us, and it kind of went the same way like it normally does, but this time there was scare actors that was kind of giving us like more dialogue. So we were pulsed through, then we were stopped, and I don't even fully remember what the actual story was. I know we were supposed to be like looking at a recipe, writing something down. The people were asking us for like certain things. At one point in time, I got called out by one of the scare actors and I was told to go by myself, and I was just like, where's everyone else going? Am I just going? So that was a bit weird because then like the other people were like, are you by yourself? And I'm like, no. But I mean, I give it to them. There's only so much that they could do. It's not like fully staffed. It's not like 1 million people in there. There's only like a couple people that are working this thing. So for what it's worth, I do appreciate it. I think it was cool though. So we went through that maze.
I'll welcome you in through the doors, and you will take you onto your next.
And because of that, our trainee chefs thought it was a good idea to try and take it.
Read the ingredients out.
Everybody in your group, or just you?
Just me?
That's you?
Yeah.
And then at the end of this, you just kind of let out onto the main catwalk of the ship. It's pretty cool. I enjoyed that. So at this time, when we're inside of the main catwalk area of the ship, there is a section that you can go for VIP. It's actually down the stairs. It's like the engine room. They do this for some events. It's like if you have VIP, you can do the engine room. You kind of like walk through it. I think during like the normal season, it's open. It may or not be open. I'm forgetting, but we've gone through here before, and even when we went for this event before, when it was on Valentine's Day, they did handcuff you together if you were like a couple. This time it's 3 of us, so they handcuffed us all together. I was in the middle. It was kind of weird because I was like taller than both of them, so like I'm just kind of like, oh, how this is gonna work. But you're all handcuffed together and you get to go through the engine room. So the engine room is pretty cool. It's literally like where this giant engine is for the ship. There's a couple scare actors down there. They kind of pop out. Not gonna lie to you, this is like the first time. They got me pretty good going through this engine room.
How's it going? That was a good one. Jeez. Thank you. You got him. You got me.
It's gonna close!
You know, I should have known.
Well, we all got scared once.
I know.
And then once you're done with that, they uncuff you, and we made our way back up the stairs and back into the action. One thing to note, we were looking around for what food options that they did have there. They did have certain stuff, but we just elected to just kind of just hang out and not really get any food. We did hang out on the dance room floor kind of for like a while, just kind of like vibed out for a minute. But there was one more thing that you could do. There is another maze that is off behind the dance room stage. So it's not the full maze of Lullaby, but it kind of was. And for this one, it was a lights out event too. Where you enter in is kind of like a different area, because yeah, you don't do this normally. You're like off to like the back side of the stage. You get little glow sticks, and then you make your way around this corner, then up the stairs. There is Mary's down there, like one of the scare actors. She's like the little girl. Oh, I do want to mention though, especially for the Valentine's Day event, they had a lot of the big dressed characters were out dancing around on the dance floor. Like the captain was out there DJing and emceeing. The ringmaster was out there going wild. You had Mary going out there going crazy. I mean, people were going crazy. Valentine's Day weekend was definitely more energy for sure. This one, it wasn't bad. It was just, it seemed like there was just a little bit less people, but it was still a lot of fun. Reason why we wanted to go to it again. But going through the Lullaby maze, it was a really cool time. And I did like the fact that it was less people and it was lights out as well, even though it wasn't the full maze, but we did get a chance to do the big bridge where the bridge kind of drops, or it has like this dropping effect. That was really cool, especially that we could take our time on it and actually make sure that we actually felt the drop sensation. This was really cool. One thing I do want to mention though, because of this was kind of marketed as a more Dark Masquerade type of party, it seemed like there was more people there that weren't necessarily always into the spooky stuff. Like when we went through the other maze, the 2 ladies that were with us, like in our group, I remember they were asking like, is this scary? So for them, this was their first time doing this event. They were scared, but it wasn't as like full blown as, you know, in the true haunt season, because there wasn't a ton of scare actors. All the scare actors were basically talking to you. It was more of a atmosphere type of thing. So I really like that it's kind of made it more accessible to other people. And just the fact that this was still like a spooky party, but it wasn't all the way spooky. Like most people there were dressed up, like in full blown, like there was people with tuxedo type suits and big dresses and gowns and things like that. So it did get a chance to blend kind of 2 different elements together, which I really appreciated.
Maybe one of the best views on the boat.
But then overall after that, we kind of hung out for a minute. Then we just kind of made our way out of the event. It was I don't want to say short and sweet, but it was an efficient time we had there. We were there for a couple hours, had a good time. We made our way out and we had a lot of fun. Overall, I hope that they can continue to do things like this, especially these kind of like one-off type of events and type of parties. We usually go whenever they have something. We went to the Friday the 13th when it was, I think for a feast, it was a lights off event where they just gave you the glow sticks as well, which I thought that was cool. So we've gone to a couple of their like little offshoot events, and I hope that they continue to do more of these because it was a lot of fun. If you haven't seen our last video when we went to Eulogy Collective's last haunted attraction, check this video out on the screen, subscribe for more, and we'll see you guys over there.